Welcome back to Patman Garage. I have a very special surprise today. We are going to go check out a local Coyote swap. So I figured I'd bring Fitty along for the ride to see how she's doing, and have an unusually warm weather for end of January, beginning of February kind of time frame here. And like I said, we'll go hit the road and I'll let y'all come along for the ride. Expect to see a Harley Davidson lowered and towing a trailer. That's pretty cool. Looks like it's a 2003 year model. It's got the anniversary fenders on it. It kind of surprised me because that's not really what you would expect to see as a work truck, or just in general, you don't really see them very often anyways. But anyways, that's kind of cool. I figured y'all want to see that too. On the old side, it's been in there since probably October, and we had at least 2 good solid deep freezes. So we're not going to try to do any more hard pulls right now.
We're going to
work on getting the rest of this gas burned out of here. We'll get some fresh gas and see what it does. Kind of a little bit of a glare, but there's a lowered FX2. Not a bad looking little truck. So we're going to take a look at Fitty while we're out here and say hello to Mark. Mark, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
So we're just going to take a look at Fitty, and then we'll go inside the shop and take a look at her as well. So Mark was itching to get his eyes under the hood and take a look at Fitty.
So I've been tracking your build for probably about 4 years now, and my own, which we're going to look at here in a minute. But Patrick just really impressed me with his quality of workmanship and attention to detail. And so when I started doing my build, he chatted me up online and was like, man, I might want to come look. So here we are. It's a beautiful day in North Texas.
Yep. And we'll see what we can check out on his build here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Amazing. So is this a truck motor or is this a Mustang?
This is a Gen 2 truck motor.
Okay. All right. So what did you have to do with the front cover and stuff? Did you have to change that out?
Nope. Nothing.
Okay.
Only modifications I did was I chose to put it's got a Mustang intake manifold on it.
Okay.
And I did that for a little bit higher horsepower,
Right.
a little bit less torque. In the process of doing the paint work, because this is a Mustang intake, it has the studs for the that upper cover.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and shaved those off, so those no longer exist. And then here on the where the purge valve should be is also deleted as well.
Okay. You run electric steering?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Gen 2 Mustang electric steering. It's equivalent to this powertrain, except for same generation as the powertrain, but it's a Mustang rack.
Okay. Yeah, I like the way you integrated the air intake here. That looks good. What are you running for fans and?
Those are F-150 fans, Gen 2, appropriate with the
radiator too.
Radiators, factory radiator for the truck.
Okay. What was in here?
4.6.
Okay.
The only I say factory radiator. It is a 10th gen radiator. It has the dual core, so it's the double thickness, which adds another, like, I think almost a gallon of capacity of coolant, and adds quite a bit more capacity to actually get air off of it, or heat off of it. So
you running the 6R80?
6R80 behind it.
Okay. What do you think your rear wheel horsepower is?
I think I'm putting about 4 to the ground.
Okay.
I think it might be a tiny bit over, might be a tiny bit less. I don't know exactly, but I think this truck motor was rated at like 375, 375.
Okay.
And then I added long tubes and E85 and the Mustang intake manifold and tuning. So I think it's between drivetrain loss and I think I in my mind it's 400 to the ground. I don't know. I've never actually dynoed it.
Okay.
At some point I might, but for now that's what in my head I call it 400 horsepower. But I don't know if that's actually the case or not. But
is this built done and you're just going to enjoy it, or are you going to do any more to it?
It's as done as anything ever is. So I've got, the truck is really, really well balanced right now in the sense that I've been working on cutting weight. Actually, weight balance front to rear is actually pretty spot on too. I think I'm like 55, 45 or something like that on weight balance.
That's really good.
I'm not saying I wouldn't supercharge it. I don't think I really have room for turbos to do them the way I would want to do them. And I'm not going to do like everybody does now and sticks them out the hood. That's not really my style. I might consider doing like a Predator blower, GT500 takeoff type of thing. Those seem relatively inintrusive as far as major engine overhaul or major engine bay reworking. I guess I should say it that way. Obviously, it's a big install, but I don't have any immediate plans to do that. I don't think it needs it. I have run a draggy time of 13.5, so it's pretty quick for what it is, considering it ran mid-16s with bolt-ons as a 4.6 truck.
It's a big truck.
It's a big truck.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain point where you can do more and you enjoy more, but then you start having a balance of needing to upgrade more stuff, and I need more tire, I need more suspension, I need more, and it becomes a slippery slope of turning into full race car, and I like the street aspect of it.
I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I'm not.
And that's kind of the goal with mine. I want to build it to a point and just be able to drive it and enjoy it.
Right.
But man, that is so slick. I love the way you did all this. And
Yep.
that Can-In, or what is that?
Actually, I did have a K&N for a long time, but I think I actually put a paper filter back in it. I think. I don't remember, to be honest with you, if it's got a K&N or not. I'd have to go back or pop it open and look. But yeah, that was so this connection here, where the hose clamp is,
Right.
is where the actual mass airflow connects on it, and it just happens to be the exact same collar size that the 2015 would connect to the airbox.
Okay.
And so kind of a little bit of dumb luck there.
We've had a little bit of that too.
And I don't know that it's Ford being lazy, because it's like 3 generations newer. I just think it's dumb luck on something like that. And I love the fact that I can put the factory airbox back in it, because I get so many people on all the different 10th gen pages, and they're like, oh, I'm going to do this intake, or I'm going to do this. And it's like, dude, I can breathe 400 horsepower through this all day long through a stock airbox. It breathes just fine. That's not your problem. That is not your restriction. I do also have a ported throttle body I have yet to install as well.
Okay.
That may wake it up a little bit more.
Are those factory fuel rails?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Factory rails, factory injectors. I'm using a lot of the factory Coyote supply line. I had to build some nylon fuel lines, and if you need me to build some for you, let me know.
Okay.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of things that I may want your help with.
Yeah. Well, we can jump in there at whatever point we need to, or whenever we're ready to. But I bought a really nice Dorman kit that you can build actually, not just replace ends on. You can actually build fuel lines with it. So
I talked to a guy, you probably know him, Garrett with GA Performance.
Yeah.
And he has kind of a package component fuel system he's put together for these conversions.
Okay.
And we have it on order, hasn't come in yet. So it'll drop into the factory fuel tank.
Yep.
We'll mount which you'll see in a minute, we'll mount a regulator over here on this side of the engine, and it'll have the return line to it.
Because you're going to run return.
Yeah. So
are you doing that because you're planning on doing boost later, or are you doing that out of convenience? I'm just curious.
I'm not planning on running boost right now. I don't,
Okay.
I don't see a need for them, kind of like you.
Right.
You know.
And your truck's probably
Smaller,
500 pounds lighter, 1,000 pounds lighter, something like that?
Yeah. I don't really think I'm going to need it.
Right.
It's just simply what Garrett recommended, and we could order it and pay for it and have it here, and convenience.
And you're going to run a control pack on yours,
Yeah.
right? So you don't have the pulse width drivers for running a modulated fuel pump. You're doing that out of simplicity of this. It makes the fuel system more complicated, but it makes the overall install faster.
And audience, for those of you out there and who are going to be hitting in the comments and stuff, I know what you're about to say. So it's my lack of knowledge. I'll just say that up front.
Right.
So we're running the Mustang ECU, and we're running a PBH, power by the hour.
And yours is a Mustang.
Gen 1.
A Gen 1 Mustang.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gen 1. The term control pack is a little confusing to me. I'm not exactly sure where that fits in. So you asked, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, so control pack, I'm running donor harnesses. So this is my Gen 2 fuse box.
Okay.
That's my Gen 2 PCM. I'm running factory from Ford, running factory harnesses.
Okay.
So that's how I'm running my cluster as well.
Okay.
So control pack are the what most people are doing with these swaps. They'll buy for about $2,000. That comes with the PCM, comes with the harness, and there's like probably 5 or 6 wires that get connected to the truck, right?
Yeah.
This is a full harness that I pulled stuff out. I made my own control pack essentially by using donor harnesses. So for my fuel system, I have it's a terrible on pronunciation, with a Warborough fuel pump, tongue twister, however you say that, I don't know. Just a standard, I think it's a 330 pump, and I'm running returnless, so I'm running just a supply line to the rail. So my factory computer will modulate the speed of the pump to give me more fuel if I need more fuel.
Okay.
So return styles work, and they give you more room to grow into it if you're trying to do more fuel down the road, like doing a supercharger. So basically, you're producing more fuel all the time, and then you send the rest back. That makes sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Which is how your factory truck was set up, and that's fine. There's not really a pro or con at a factory level. There's no need to be a return system. Most people do it because I believe the control packs don't have the ability to do the modulated pumps. I think they just are on signals.
So this was kind of a ease and cost saving feature.
Yep.
Where we could use the existing fuel lines that were in the vehicle already.
Correct. Yep.
And just fabricate some connectors and patch right in.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not trying to build shame you by any means. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just here to talk and educate and walk you through it. So.
Take all of that.
Yeah.
There's some other aspects of the truck that really. Did you get those from LMR?
Those are LMR wheels. Yeah, the 20s.
Okay.
And I have plans at whatever point I previously had the 0102 chrome wheels on the truck, and those were ridiculously heavy for what they are.
Yeah.
The LMR wheels shaved, I think it was about 5 or 6 pounds per wheel, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the silver painted wheel on this truck just has a little bit more of a sleeper aspect to it, instead of being quite as flashy as chrome, and it just has a little bit more understated look to it.
Well, and for those who might know this generation of truck, that would appear to be like a factory Ford style.
Correct. Right.
And which is what I'm doing on mine, which we'll see in a little bit. I want the sleeper aspect.
Right.
So I didn't want to have something that just really popped out and said, "Hey, I'm special. Look at me."
Exactly. Yeah. I can blend in with traffic. Obviously, the truck's low, but I don't have flames running down the side of the truck. I don't have, bright green or bright orange paint or something like that. And again, nothing wrong with the people that have that, but
yeah, you want it to look like a normal vehicle for daily use. Yeah, lowered, but nobody really has any idea what's in it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with mine. I may change my mind with that, but hey.
Yep.
Lightning seats, I see.
Yeah. Do you want to take a look inside?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I didn't even look at the back.
Well, the back's got a bunch of junk in it right now, but.
So those come out of an Expedition?
Hang on, let me open. Oh, it is unlocked. No, don't touch the locks. So these are actually factory seats. That one is the factory seat for this truck. I bought another one that I put on this side.
Okay.
So this was originally a 60-40, or I guess 40-60.
Yeah.
And I bought a second 40 out of another truck, bolted it in. The original build I had flipped the front leg 180 degrees. So the bolt, this is not symmetrical. You have 2 bolts on the outside and one on the inside. Right. So when the factory seat for that side was on this side, I had 2 over here, 1 over here.
Right.
I flipped it to line up with the 2 that matched the bolt holes here.
Right.
The one over here never had a hole for, and I ran it like that for a really long time. And then I finally, in the process of building my truck, because where this corner is in the floor of the cab is right on top of the gas tank. So you can't really drill down.
Right.
You can't really effectively weld a plate there like the factory does. So currently it is set up exactly like factory would have been if it had buckets. Okay. I ended up buying a King Ranch 40 seat for this side, which the frames are actually appropriate for this side. And then I went to the junkyard, got a welded plate that welds to the bottom of the cab.
Okay.
So factory seats, modified.
Any plans for the middle there, or are you just going to leave it for storage?
So I had, and I still have, a sub box with 2 12s.
Okay.
And it was designed in a way that, with the seat folded flat, the box was contoured the same pitch as this seat.
Okay.
Which is really complicated geometry because the floor not only tapers up, but then has multiple ledges of steps up.
Right.
And at the same time, the seat height goes uphill.
Right.
So it was quite an interesting build. Actually, that was probably one of the first things I did for this truck. I built that in high school.
Okay.
And
so you've had this truck a long time.
I'm original owner on it.
Okay.
Yep. So I have a long time ago I built the thread for that.
Did you buy this truck new?
I bought this truck new.
Okay.
So long time ago I had a thread. I think the pictures are not online because they did the whole photo bucket thing, but at some point I might go back and add the pictures back in. I still have them, but
Okay.
but in the meantime,
It works perfect.
in the meantime, it works perfect for storing
Sure.
car show cleanup stuff, and I can also throw an ice chest in there if I want to.
Yep.
And I also don't have a radio in the truck, so it doesn't really make sense to lug around 100 pounds of sub.
Oh, you don't? I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Okay. Plans to put one back in?
You know, possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. It just hasn't been a big priority, and listening to the Coyote sing is pretty good. And
Yeah.
I just, honestly, not an ad, but I just bring my little Bluetooth speaker with me if I'm going somewhere. So yeah, that's Fitty.
What's the bed look like back there?
It looks like a completely empty bed. Let me set this down so I can.
So nice bed rug in here.
Yep. So we got the bed rug in the bed. You may or may not be familiar with the rest of the build, but that's my battery. You gonna hold that?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
That's the battery
Okay.
box. So shorten the gas tank.
Yeah, I saw you put a battery connection under the hood.
Yep. So that's a trailer battery in-floor box for building trailers. I don't know. It was cheaper to buy that than to manufacture my own. That was like $160, and I'm like, man, it's probably $200 in metal plus time and all the time. Yeah. And it's already set up. I already know what battery fits in it, and it's done. So battery got relocated back here. It's part of my weight balance improvements, as well as just cleaning up that engine bay. You asked about the tailgate.
Yeah.
The handle is about right in here.
Okay.
And it is a carburetor choke cable. So if I can hand that to you,
Yeah.
I can show you here. It is.
Ah, okay.
So that actuates the.
You just put a pole cable.
I put a pull cable on it,
Okay.
and that pulls the factory latch is a lift. So I took the factory handle and spun it 180 degrees. So now you pull down on it,
Okay.
and all that's inside the tailgate, and you would never know it's there
Okay.
because it's shaved on the outside.
Yeah. Who did the paint and body work for you?
The tailgate was shaved after I got rear-ended in 2009, and it was done at David McDavid in Plano, their body shop.
Okay.
And I got a whole new replacement bed and a whole new tailgate. That's the safety release for the bed.
And putting some bodies back here.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah,
So was this a product you purchased, or did you make this?
that is a snug top or snug lid,
Okay, yeah.
depending on there's two different versions, but that is a commercial product. You just don't ever see them anymore.
Yeah. I don't even know if they make them anymore.
They
honestly.
probably don't. Actually, you
Well,
can't even get the bed rug anymore either.
While
but-
my truck is in here being built, I got online, did some shopping. I like the 10th gen
Yeah.
truck, and I bought another one just to have as a daily driver. It's that black one sitting right there.
Okay, a little extended cab.
Yeah, and I happened to get like the last
And that looks like a
topper unit.
02?
It's a 99.
99, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the older wheels on it. Yeah, yeah.
We can look at it too if you want. But it's when I was shopping for a tonneau cover.
Yeah.
There's a shop down here off the freeway, and I went out there and talked to them. There's one company and one company only that still made a top
And that looks like a ARE.
for ARE
Yeah.
for that truck. And I got one of the last ones the company ever made. They stopped production on
Nice.
it after I got mine ordered. So I got lucky.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I bought the cover used in, I think it was 2010. I bought it on Craigslist for like $300 or $400 and had it repainted. And it actually, I've had it painted multiple times because it was actually had a red Super Crew it was on first, and then I got rid of the red Super Crew and I was like, well, I'm keeping my bed cover.
well, which you'll see in a minute, both my trucks have bed covers.
Yeah.
And I just about won't have a truck without a bed cover anymore.
Yeah.
It's too nice to have.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
just pull it down.
Yeah, it just pulls down. That's it. And I make sure this side always hangs up on me. It doesn't latch very good. So give it a little slam and then it's good there. Yep. I'm gonna grab my drink. We'll go inside.
Sure.
And I guess I'll actually lock the truck up. Yeah, so we have the Stifler's cross member under here. And you're running the, is this MT82, is that right?
Yes. Getrag.
And
Getrag
then-
is the name of the company.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then you've got long tube, or I guess maybe shorty tube headers that have a flange there. Mid-length, I don't know what you call them. And then you got a Moroso oil pan. Is that the same one that I ordered? You're copying my
Yes.
build on that too?
Yeah.
Okay. Which, if you do end up doing turbos later,
Yeah.
you got ports for it, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, not this one, but you know, oil level on that side, and I think there's another bung over there. Do you need to run oil returns on it?
Yeah.
So it's always got room to grow, which is good. And that's the bottom side of your, oh, why is that not actually on? Oh, there we go. That's the bottom side of your power steering setup.
That's the KRC.
KRC, okay.
Yep.
Haven't
You know-
seen that in person before. I've seen it one time on a car show. I haven't been underneath one of it.
You can find that at LMR.
Okay, that's a pretty compact little setup. Nice looking billet bracket for it.
And we did the Beltec 2-inch lowering springs with the shocks
Yep.
on the front. And
then you're gonna run-
We did a little trick with the power steering pump. We actually had to relocate this slightly. You can actually leave the top bolt in place, rotate it a little bit.
Oh, I do see that.
And
Yeah.
drill a couple of new holes
Yeah.
right here for it. And you got plenty of reinforcement on this part of the frame,
Yeah.
so it works.
Yeah, I can see the original hole there. So
Yeah.
you clocked it down to give you space for the steering shaft
We
around
had
the
to clear the
alternator.
alternator, yeah.
Yep.
And so this is a perfect fit. This just bolted right back in place.
Nice.
So we had enough room in the slip joint on the steering column to
To pull it out.
make that work.
Nice.
Yep.
I would not have thought about the creativity of rolling that pivot like that, but
I didn't either. That's a little tech tip I learned from a person who wishes to remain anonymous.
I got you. The only thing I would, I guess, maybe long-term concern about is these have pinch sleeves in them, so there's
Yes.
a tube that runs through there.
Yes.
So theoretically, you should be trying to mimic that. So we have that,
Yeah.
so you don't crush the frame rail.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I
Well,
can,
we are right here on the fold,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
and
I
but you know, we may go with a different setup in the future.
yeah. No, I like it because this relationship fitment is terrible, which is part of what pushed me into doing the electric power steering.
Right.
So mine has brackets that weld across the face of the cross member here,
Right.
and then I have the rack sitting outward, and then I still had to notch a little bit right in here.
Right.
And then the nice thing about the rack is the rack actually points uphill and gives me that angle to clear around that alternator.
And we are in a working shop, so that's why
Yep.
you're hearing the background noises.
Yep, just 5.4 doing 5.4 things over there.
Yeah. So we've got Stifler's traction bars on it, and a Beltec sway bar, which don't know if we're going to keep this setup or not.
Yep,
We'll test it out and see how it does, but we'll see.
sweet. All right, let's get this thing back down and let's look at the top.
Hell yeah.
All right,
I
so
think it's right here.
you're running the MT82, so you're running the
Right.
manual transmission that'll come up to the floor.
Our transmission cutout will be right here,
Okay.
right there.
Some fancy new carpet too.
Yeah, this is a LMR. Got this at LMR.
Okay.
The brackets, seat brackets as well. So yeah, this will probably be more like that
Yep.
for ride height.
Yep. And it probably quite a bit of weight savings, I would imagine.
Yeah,
It looked nice.
and I've got a factory Ford console that's going to go right here.
Okay. Just did the short one like what's in your black truck too?
It's the exact same one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And so we've got an angled shifter handle. It'll be right about here, right about there.
Yep.
Shifter handle will be. Tinwood stereo deck. Kicker speakers in the doors.
Got the crank windows.
Yes, crank windows.
This
Yeah.
truck will be pretty light.
It had the cluster that did not have the tach, and I purchased this instrument cluster and had it programmed to the truck.
Which is, most of that's going to go away anyways. Well, most of the programming needs probably will go away with, you're probably not going to run your original ECM at all, or PCM. Sweet. And under hood here we got our first gen 5-liter, and that's the Boss intake on it. Still got a lot to go here with wiring and plumbing.
This came out of a 2012 Mustang.
So there's the top side of the relocated or altered steering shaft and gearbox situation. I like it. And these are just some generic fans, and you said this is a 4-core big boy radiator.
Yep.
That's a nice looking fan shroud.
Yeah. Garrett with GAP Performance actually put this together for me.
And then you said that this is a brand new
this is also his
fuel regulator bracket.
His bracket that he designed. These are available on his website at GAP Performance. GA
Sweet.
Performance. But yeah, this is a brand new product.
So that'll have your you'll have the fuel system as your supply line, and you'll have your 4 regulator, and then you'll have the return going back out.
Correct.
Sweet.
Yep. Yep. Nathan Hensley with Lethal Nate has the wiring.
Doing the wiring side of it.
Harnesses that he's putting together for me. ECU is going to mount over there, and we'll clean all this up once we get everything back.
Yep. Yeah, so that's your factory connections that go in.
That was over there.
Over here. This is your ECM, and then these are the engine bay harness connectors. So you'll need that's your starter trigger, and then you'll need this main power wire that'll power up the inside of the cab. Pretty much everything else. You may need, some of that may also be turn signals and stuff too, and horn. I can't remember if that comes out across or if that's on this side.
All that's on the factory.
But
all that's in here.
yeah, on the original box here.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So most of this will get cut out basically and capped off.
Right.
We're still working on some plumbing connections. We have to get a fitting, which is on the way. An M14 fitting for the low pressure side of the power steering pump.
Okay.
We have to get a fitting to connect the clutch line to the transmission. We're working on
Heater hoses
for the
intake situation of PCV and heater hoses and coolant lines. And
all the plumbing stuff.
I saw y'all playing, I don't know where it went. Oh, this guy, the lower radiator hose.
That's the upper.
Or, I'm sorry, upper, excuse me.
That's the upper.
This factory piece, there's a way to modify it. I know this is a nice aluminum end piece, but there's basically an alignment tab on here. That's this guy right here.
Yep.
And you can actually grind off the male side of the tab there, and then gives you full rotation.
Okay.
So if you need to reclock this for whatever reason, because the factory one has a like a little bit of a 45 on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a straight one, so you shouldn't have any problems clocking it or rotating it. But I can show you on mine what that looks like.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you're going to keep the battery up here in the
now.
factory location, and then you
now.
said the PCM is going to go back in here.
Yep. This is part of the Power by the Hour harness
Okay.
that we bought. Again, Nate has all of that.
That's part of your control pack.
Yep.
Sweet.
So everything else is pretty much factory.
Yeah, just a little bit of clearance under there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
The good news is you're not running the Gen 2s have the with the factory intakes have those big IMRC vacuum canisters on the back, and they're like Coke can size that sit behind the intake, and they're vacuum actuators. So that was my tough fitment, was front to back in that space. I got plenty of height because my intake's half its height. But yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah. And we'll reroute this heater hose with a different fitting right here.
Yeah.
Kind of lay that in a little bit more and get it out of the way.
Yeah, that's actually you could probably. I mean, you can also get the factory Mustang. Has the routing in that location too. But
okay.
Yeah, I can send you the numbers for the fittings I used on the Mach 1 I did.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So for now, I want the truck to kind of have a stock factory look as much as possible. I don't want the truck to like scream at people going by.
Right.
You know that, hey, this truck's custom or this truck's built or whatever.
Yeah, because then someone wants to steal it.
Right. Exactly. So these are OEM rims. I'm not in love with them.
They look like they're in really good shape though.
They're 17.
A little bit of polish to them.
Yeah. They're 17s. Well, you can buy these at Summit. That's where I got them.
Okay, so they are new. They're just
Right.
factory style.
Right. And I got a good deal on them. So, for now,
Yeah.
we'll run with that and
Yep.
see if we like that. We may change it. May go with a different tire package in the future, but
Yep.
for now, this truck was a XLV6.
Okay.
Yep. Not that anymore.
I see you don't have your V8 flag underneath the.
No,
the
but
fender.
I don't have them up here with me, but I've been looking at replacement emblems.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go with the Ford factory XLT badge.
Okay.
And then I found a little badge. It's really, really thin. It go underneath here. And it just says Coyote V8
Okay.
on it. I don't know if I'm going to put that on there or not.
Yep.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
I've been on a personal mission to get rid of emblems
Yeah.
for a long time on my
Well,
truck, but
Again, if I put
Yeah.
something that says Coyote on here,
yep,
it's an invitation for somebody to want to steal the truck.
exactly.
So I probably won't.
Cool. Very nice.
This is the good side of the truck, the driver's side of the truck. I had a little accident with. And, it's going to a body shop after we get done here.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of paint fade, but not terrible.
Yeah. Well, the truck will be repainted at some point.
And it honestly looks like most of it's just oxidation and a clear coat. It doesn't even look like it's all the way through the clear. But
Yeah. My goal with
I
it
like
right
it.
now, I want to have it we're living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So in the springtime, end of April, we have the big car show at Texas Motor Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have this entered running driving in the show for Texas Motor Speedway.
you're talking about the LMR show? That was the one you were talking about trying to meet me at last year in November.
It's not the LMR. It's it'll come to me. I can't remember who puts it on, but it's a huge show.
I mean, they do lots of shows out there.
Yeah.
But
This side of the truck had a little unfortunate accident with it and smashed up the rocker
yeah,
and skimmed the bed here with it. This is a new door. And when we finish building the mechanicals and stuff, we have the body shop here close by that we're going to send it to. We'll have all this cut out and removed, brand new rocker panel, cab corner, and have the door frame straightened out and
Sweet.
fixed up. As you can see, we have quite a huge gap up here
yeah.
from what happened.
Glad it's inside right now.
Well, surprisingly, the door seal's still
Really?
compact enough to
Okay.
keep the rain out of it.
I wouldn't have guessed that. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Now the wind noise is terrible.
I'm sure. Yeah. Very
But
cool.
We tagged the front fender too.
Yeah.
So, in the bed of the truck, which we got covered up right now, I've got a bunch of new parts. I've got new fender.
And I see you're maybe toying with the idea of a cluster swap too.
We were
Is this-
toying around with that idea. This is the original cluster that came with the car.
Okay.
And so the drivetrain package we got from a place called the Parts Farm.
Yep. Heard of that.
You can find them on eBay, on Facebook. And they sell, a variety of parts, but you can get like a pallet package.
Yeah, the turnkey pallets, I think is what they call them. Yep.
Yeah, engine, drivetrain, fuel system, everything. This was the cluster that came with the car. This does not have the full gauge setup.
Okay.
For a while, we toyed around with the idea of using a Mustang gauge cluster instead of the truck's cluster.
Right.
So we bought this, and we actually had this programmed to run in the truck.
Okay.
But
I like the silver faces.
I like the silver. Yeah. Not sure if we're going to use this or not.
Okay.
To be determined.
Well, now's the time to make that decision with Nate doing the wiring.
Yeah.
He needs to know what options you're doing on that.
Nate strongly discouraged me from doing this.
Okay.
If I can do this without dumping everything.
Open the tent.
There's the center console that we're going to use.
Yep, I got you.
Here's a new front fender.
Yep.
We got a few other miscellaneous pieces.
Also came
in
off
here.
of V6 too. Look at you.
Yeah.
Didn't have the V8 flag on it.
Well, I got the door and the fender off the
Off the
same
same truck?
truck at
Okay.
a wrecking yard.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see you continue making progress on this.
Oh, yeah.
When did you actually start the swap? Was it about a year ago?
July.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, July.
It takes a long time.
Sure.
Everyone does these. Let me flip this right here. I'll just
So-
set it down here. Everyone does these YouTube videos on building cars, and you get something built in like, 30-minute episode, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, wow, it's so cool they did that. And
Yeah.
most people don't appreciate how much time it actually takes to do a build like this, that it's not a quick process.
The truck has been here in this shop since like July or August.
Okay.
So I'm actually pretty pleased
Yeah.
with the amount of progress we've made on it. The shop here that we're in belongs to some friends of mine. I've known these guys for years. And one of the things I love about this shop is they really prioritize their customer cars. So, when mom and dad come in with their car where they use to daily drive and take the kids to school, go to work, the shop prioritizes those. So this truck project will sit for days and weeks at a
On
time.
the back burner, which
Yeah.
is expected. And when you're constantly ordering new fittings and you're
Right.
trying new stuff, the combinations don't always line up either. Where even when I was home, I'd get super motivated. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna figure this one thing out, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta stop and order more fittings, and it'll be a couple days before it comes in, and
Yeah.
it's how it goes. So.
Yeah. Well, in fact, the fuel system we have ordered for the truck is delayed from the manufacturer.
Yep.
So I'm not even sure when that's coming in.
Yep.
But
Very cool.
anyway,
Cool. Alrighty, well, I think we're going to sign off here. We may take Mark for a ride if he wants to go for a ride at Fitty, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he does if he's got time for that.
yeah, absolutely.
And maybe motivate him a little bit more to get his truck done. So
Believe me, I'm motivated.
I appreciate y'all checking out another video of mine, and I will catch you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good weekend.